Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my pistachio fragrances that I own in my collection. But I'm also going to be combining that with my review of the latest release from Kayali, and this is Yum Pistachio Gelato 33. With that said, let's get right into today's video. Alright guys, so I finally got my hands on Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato 33, and I did start off with a travel size. You guys know that is what I'm doing right now until, I started doing this because I was moving and I didn't want to purchase any more full-size bottles, but I think this is just going to be a new rule that I set for myself when I purchase fragrances. I'm kind of done with purchasing full-size bottles and then wearing them a few times and end up like not really vibing with the fragrance, and then I'm stuck with a full size of it. So I think that it's just better to start off with a travel size. You work your way up. If you go through the travel size and you're missing the fragrance, then you know that you need a full size of it. So it's definitely better for your wallet, and it also takes up less space. You still get to experience the fragrances, you still get to collect, you still get to try out new things, but you can also finish up the bottles that you already own, and then you only purchase full sizes of the ones that you really fall in love with. So that method is working out so great for me. So I did pick up the travel size, and I'm going to go ahead and read the main accords for this fragrance. The main accords are sweet, woody, vanilla, powdery, citrus, and nutty, warm, spicy, fresh, and aromatic. The top notes, and this fragrance has a bunch of notes. So the top notes, there is pistachio, bergamot, ice cream, rum, hazelnut, and cardamom. Middle notes are lily of the valley, peony, pear, geranium, jasmine, white peach, and raspberry. And the base notes are whipped cream, marshmallow, cotton candy, sandalwood, locum, I'm probably not saying that right at all, tonka bean, cedar, and cacao. When I first received this and I sprayed it on, I loved it. Like, my first reaction was, this is so good. Like, I love it. It's unique. It doesn't smell like any of the fragrances that I have, which I like because I'm not trying to get a fragrance that smells exactly like another pistachio fragrance. So I do feel like when it comes to being unique and doing something different, they did a great job here. Definitely I pick up the pistachio. So the star of the show, she is there. I do pick up a lot of pistachio, but this is a fresh pistachio while still being gourmand at the same time. So it smells clean, it smells sweet, it smells like a dessert, it smells creamy. It just has like a thin texture to it. It's not thick, it's not syrupy, but where I live, that is exactly the type of gourmand that you want, because very thick gourmands will drive you nuts in the heat. It will be too thick, it will be too cloying, and it's something that is just not going to sit well on the skin with the heat. So right now where I live, I would say sometimes it gets close to 90 degrees already. So it is hot. So I am giving you guys my point of view from a very hot climate right now. Hot and humid. And I will say, when I first smelled this fragrance, I got way more gourmand, right? So I got the pistachio, I was getting very sweet notes like the cotton candy, and I was just like head over heels in love with it. But I'm very happy that I kept testing it out, because I'm having kind of like a back and forth with this fragrance. One minute I really like it, the next I'm not too sure about it. So I do have notes. You guys know that I always like to bring out my notes. First off, I will say that on Fragrantica, this was compared to a fragrance that I loved for like 2 years, and that was Guerlain's La Petite Robe Noire, and that one is the Eau Fraiche version that has pistachio in it, but that's definitely a unisex version, a fresh version of pistachio. A lot of people are saying that the Yum Pistachio Gelato reminds them of that one, and I will say that it is similar, but it's not a dupe or anything like that. It's still unique, and I still think that this stands like on its own. So this was the first day that I tried it. I wrote, Kayali Yum sits right at the line between a fresh scent and a gourmand scent. It's literally sitting right in between those two types of accords. So I think that they gave a beautiful, fresh gourmand fragrance with the perfect amount of sweetness where it can be worn in hot weather and it doesn't get too syrupy or heavy. And you do have to like sweet, because this stays sweet the entire time that you're wearing it. It is a sweet bomb. I instantly picked up on so much of the pistachio, along with a marshmallow, fluffy, creamy texture, but still had this fluffy airiness to it. So what I did like about this fragrance was that, you know, sometimes when you have a gourmand fragrance, you can feel like you're so in love with it, you love it so much, but they can tend to kind of get on your nerves quicker than other types of fragrances because they can be very thick, very syrupy. Especially if you're in hot weather, you can really feel like the intensity of a true gourmand. Sometimes it could be a little too much. So I do like that this can be worn for sure in hot weather. You're going to be fine wearing this. And I will say that it does say intense on here. When I think of intense with this fragrance, I don't think that they're aiming towards intense longevity, because honestly, the longevity is not really that long for me. You guys know that fragrances don't last a long time on me though, so I'm not really the best person to give a longevity opinion, but it doesn't really last long. I did wear this overnight. It didn't really pass the overnight test. It did stay longer on my clothes, but on my skin it was completely gone. So I don't think that it's a long wearing fragrance, and it could be intense if you overspray it. I do feel like it could be intense, but it could end up giving you a headache, because the more you spray of this, the more that you're going to start kind of noticing like those florals, and it starts getting a little bit like it very like almost sharp if you put too much of it. Very floral. It has like a very floral scent to it. So I kind of wish that this would have stayed the same way that it was when I first smelled it. When I first smelled this, it could have been like a favorite right off the bat, but it has been changing so much the more that I smell it. My nose is just picking up on things that I didn't want to pick up on, unfortunately. I didn't really watch all of the reviews on YouTube because there was so many reviews on this fragrance, but being on Instagram, you are going to see a lot of people who are uploading like reels and really short like reviews. So I did watch a few of those, and I did see people kind of saying that they were getting like an Irish Spring type of vibe out of this perfume, or like a soapy vibe. And the first time that I sprayed it, I didn't get no soapy vibes at all. And when I say soapy vibes, it's not like a pretty body wash or like a juicy body wash or something. No, it's like a bar of soap. If you do pick up like that soapy vibe, it's kind of like towards the end of you smelling it. Really does give like a little bit of like an Irish Spring type of vibe. Or there's also like a white bar of soap that like my grandma used to use. Like, is it Ivory soap or one that was like a pink bar? I don't know the names, but it does, to me, it does give that off. And unfortunately, like I did not want to pick that up. I don't know if it's because I read that and it's already kind of in my mind, but I do pick that up a little bit. It's not a deal breaker for me because it's not like it literally smells like a soap. It just has a touch of that in there. And it might be coming from the mix of florals with the gourmand notes. I think that this is I don't know yet for me. I just wanted to give you my thoughts at the moment. So I'm definitely going to be giving an update once I go through like the entire travel size to see if this is full bottle worthy or not. But I will say that every time that I wear it, I'm just getting like different vibes. So I can't really make up my mind on it. I will say that I do like this a million times better than Vanilla Royale. That was just not the DNA for me. The notes in there are just notes that I don't enjoy. This I can definitely do. I got complimented on this by my family. They really enjoyed it. So I think that it's one that I'm going to keep playing around with. But Yummy on Instagram did show this pistachio body butter. So if you want to bring out more of the pistachio in here and kind of mask a little bit of like that floral soapy type of vibes that this can give, go ahead and get you this. I'm going to put the link in the description box. I ordered this off of Amazon and it was very affordable. So here is the body butter, and the texture of it is so beautiful. It literally looks like a jar of like pistachio ice cream or like pistachio yogurt or something. This is so good. So good. This will give you pistachio all the way. Like this body butter to me is what pistachio smells like. So putting this as a base and then putting on the perfume, I think that you can definitely get way more of that pistachio, because the only thing that's bothering me in this fragrance are the florals. Like there's geranium in here, and sometimes I don't do too well with that. There's jasmine, lily of the valley, peony I love, and peony can mix very well with sweet fragrances because it's like a sweet smelling floral. So if anything, I'm thinking it has to be the florals. Layering it with this, I can definitely go through the travel size and enjoy it, because layering it with the body butter, it's just bringing out the pistachio more than anything else, and I am here for it. So right now at the moment, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I feel like it can either become a complete love, or it can just go down a little bit more and I won't get a full size of it. I will say that this is perfect for a spring scent. She did a great job at releasing this for spring, because even though it is a gourmand, it's like a fresh gourmand, so you can definitely wear this spring and summer. This combination is really, really nice. The fragrance by itself, I'm kind of iffy about it. I did wear it a few times already, and I will say that when I do spray it everywhere, I get less of the pistachio and more of like that fresh bar of soap vibe. Kind of upset because I did not want it to go that way, but it did. My nose just picked that out. So I wrote that it's hard to pinpoint what I smell in this fragrance because it's complex. Like I feel like it changes every time that I smell it. So here in the heat, the pistachio really comes through, as well as the sweet notes. The only thing that keeps me from saying that this is a love is that I get like a baby wipe powderiness with some florals that I could have done without. I will keep this and finish the travel size and see how it wears with time, since I tend to love my Kayali fragrances the longer I have them. So I am just going to continue to test this. I just wanted to give you guys my opinion because I did have a few of you asking me if I was going to talk about it, and there are so many reviews. So now that I got this out of the way, I'm definitely going to watch reviews. I'm going to see what other people are picking up with it. But from me and from my nose, if you have a similar nose to mine, you could pick up on that fresh soapy vibe. I did, unfortunately, but it's not a fail at the moment. Those are my thoughts on Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato. Really, really nice. I just wish that I didn't get that much like powderiness. It kind of mixes like a very young and yummy and sweet and just everything that I love, but then in the background there's just this little bit of like mature smelling potpourri, powdery floral, or bar of soap. It's very hard to pinpoint, but that's the only part of it that I'm not completely a fan of. So that's that. Now let's move on to the fragrances in my collection that have pistachio in them. And I did have 2 of them that I don't have at the moment, so I'll start off with those. I already mentioned the Guerlain La Petite Robe Noire Eau Fraiche. That one, if you are looking for like a cherry with pistachio, but a very airy and unisex type of vibe, check that one out. It's so unique. It's like nothing that I have in my collection. I don't have it at the moment just because I'm downsizing. Unfortunately, I'm just getting over the whole downsizing. I wish that I could just take my whole collection with me. But once I move and I settle in, I know that there are certain fragrances that are going to come back, and that's one of them. I love that one. It's kind of like a sporty, unisex, run errands, wear every day type of vibe, and it has a beautiful pistachio note in there, so I love that one a lot. I also had the pistachio ice cream fragrance from, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, but Demeter Pistachio Ice Cream. I ordered that, and let me tell you, if you want a blast of pistachio, like if you just want pistachio, check that out, because you're not going to get much of anything else with that one. So that one, I'm going to put the main accords on the screen. So the notes with that one are literally pistachio and ice cream. If you want something that is gourmand, it smells just like ice cream, maybe that would be a good one to layer with the Kayali one to add more pistachio to it and like more of a gourmand vibe. So I'm thinking if I should order that one again. I got rid of it because it was just so sweet. I remember it being super sweet. So if you are one of those people who really wanted a gourmand pistachio, maybe you can check that out. I'm going to be linking all of these fragrances in the description box below. So yeah, that's a good one if you want to get like nothing else but pistachio. If you do not really like the freshness of the Kayali one, I have the perfect pistachio for you, but you have to be okay with it being thick and syrupy, which I do not wear at the moment because in the heat, thick and syrupy fragrances just don't do the best. But this is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I have talked about it so much. I don't wear it here as much as I would like just because of how thick it is. But if you're looking for something that has pistachio, that is just like dessert, that is syrupy, it's sweet, then I would recommend Elisa Girl of Now. This has so many beautiful notes in it. There is pistachio in here, there's almond in here, pear, mandarin orange, almond, orange blossom, magnolia, and then you have almond milk, tonka bean, cashmere, and patchouli. And the patchouli in the base for this one is just to give it longevity. It makes it a little sexy. This is so perfect. I don't use it here because the last couple of times that I used it here, it started to get a little too thick. I started to pick up more on the orange blossom. And before the weather ruined it for me, I figured I would just save this. And once I move, I can use this like in fall and winter. It's just beautiful. And I do pick up a lot of the pistachio in this one along with almond. One of those fragrances when I started my collection journey that when I got this, I was just so in love because it was so different from what I was used to in fragrances. It's so beautiful. It's sweet, it's thick, it's syrupy, it's super gourmand, but then it still also has like the sexiness to it, and it lasts a long time. On me, it lasts forever. It will last like 8 hours, and that's the only reason why I have a lot of it left is just because I don't enjoy it here in the heat, but this is beautiful and one of my favorite all-time fragrances, which is hard for me to say that because I literally have like a bipolar nose. I have came to that conclusion. But Girl of Now, I love it. Next up, if you want a little bit of a brighter touch on the pistachio, there is also Girl of Now Shine. Now, this one has a pineapple note in it, so it kind of brightens it up a little bit, but this is still a thick, syrupy gourmand fragrance as well. It's just a little brighter. The pineapple is definitely noticeable, so you will get pistachio in here, which if anything, I might pick up the pistachio more in the Shine version, but I also pick up the pineapple, but they blend in together. So beautiful. This right here is such a beautiful fragrance. So the notes for Shine are pineapple, pistachio, pear, mandarin orange, bitter almond, orange blossom, jasmine, ylang ylang. So it kind of has a little bit more of a summer vibe, even though it's still thick. So I would use this more like summer evenings or nighttime. And then the base is vanilla, patchouli, and iris. And the pistachio in here, gorgeous. So next up, if you want a pistachio that's a little bit more bougie, that it's a little bit more sophisticated and expensive smelling, and it just reminds me of like vacation or resort, just that type of vibe, I would go with Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. And this also has pistachio. That was one of the reasons why I got this fragrance. So I have been after pistachio for a while. So hopefully this is the year of pistachio fragrances because I'm excited for more. I don't have too many pistachio fragrances in my collection, and there aren't too many out in the market either. So this one has a little bit more sophistication to it, I would say. It's less of a gourmand. So this one has pistachio, bergamot, cardamom, and pink pepper, tuberose, ylang ylang, and jasmine, and the base notes is coconut, amber, tonka bean, and benzoin. I pick up a lot of the cardamom in this one as well. This one to me has like more depth to it, and if you want a pistachio with like white florals and coconut, this is the one. And this does give off a little bit of like a sunscreen or suntan lotion type of vibe, but not in a cheap way. This smells really beautiful. It smells really, really nice for vacation. Maybe for like when you're having dinner at a vacation or in the evening. So, so good. So this one is not as sweet. If anything, it has a little bit more of like a spice to it from the cardamom, and it doesn't have like a thick syrupy texture to it. So this one is definitely more white floral, coconut for sure. The cardamom is like very noticeable to my nose, and then also the pistachio is in there, but it's not a fragrance that you will smell it and think, oh wow, this is like a pistachio fragrance. You will get like a hint of the pistachio along with white florals, coconut, and just like a very beachy type of vibe. So that is Soleil Blanc. And I actually prefer the EDT, which I had when I lived in Tampa, because it's a little bit more fresh. It's a little bit more like airy. Not as much white florals in that one, and that one also has pistachio, so that is one that I want to add to my collection in the future. And then to finish off this video, of course, we have none other than Sol de Janeiro Sol Cheirosa 62. So I have here a travel size, which I will be finishing up soon, and I also have the body mist. So the body mist says that it is pistachio and salted caramel. So this is something else that you can layer with the Kayali one to give it a little bit more of that gourmand vibe, but you're going to be bringing in that salty caramel vibe as well. So it is going to change the fragrance if you do layer them together. I love this. We need to start using the body mist more because lately I've been focusing on finishing up the travel size. I will say that with the travel size, I think I pick up more of the pistachio. Yeah, the perfume, I think the pistachio feels a little thicker. In the body mist, it's a little bit more fresh and airy and thin. So it's pretty much the same scent, except that this one is thicker and I get a little bit more of the pistachio in here. All right, so the Sol Cheirosa 62 has notes of pistachio and almond, heliotrope and jasmine, caramel, vanilla, salt, and sandalwood. Beautiful. If you want a gourmand pistachio, this is amazing. I definitely recommend it. And if you get yourself the body mist, the body cream, and the perfume, it will last. Like this lasts on me a while. So yeah, the body mist is just a thinner version of it, easier to wear. You can just spray this on a daily basis. But if you want to layer them together, they could be even more long lasting. They have the same exact notes. So it's just the formulation. This one's a little bit thicker. You don't get as much of like an alcohol-y type of scent with the perfume, but the fragrance mist is more affordable and it's pretty much the same scent, just not as concentrated. But yeah, these two are amazing pistachio fragrances as well, combined with caramel and salty notes. I really like that for year round because when it's fall and winter, it gives me like a very cozy gourmand vibe. But then when spring and summer come around, you feel like a bronze goddess with that. So it works all year. So I did search a few more fragrances that had pistachio in it. And I did find that Lancome Roses Berberanza, that one has pistachio in it, but that sounds like it's going to be more of like a rose fragrance. So if any of you guys have tried that one, comment down below if you notice the pistachio note in there, or if it's just adds like something to the fragrance, because it looks like this one's going to be more of a stronger fragrance. There's rose in there, there's ginger, green notes, you have hazelnut, honey, rum, vanilla, saffron, violet, there's woody notes. So there's a lot going on in that one. I would love to hear from you guys if you have tried that fragrance out. Then I also saw Hermes has one called Un Jardín en Mediterráneo. Sorry, I can't get these names. This one sounds like a more aromatic type of pistachio. There's bergamot, lemon, mandarin orange, then you have orange blossom and white Nerium oleander. Wow, there are some very unique notes. Fig leaf, cypress, red cedar, juniper, pistachio, and musk. That one I've never tried, but it sounds very interesting. And then there is the Duo brand, which it's sold out at the moment. It was not sold out 2 days ago. I was going to order it and I said, no, I need to not buy anymore, but I'm so tempted. This one's called Pistachio Gelato, and everyone is saying that this one is literally like pistachio gelato, like dessert, like gourmand. So that one sounds like a really good one. And then the Demeter Fragrance Library, the pistachio ice cream that I told you guys about earlier, that one's a good one to look into too if you just want like a straight up pistachio ice cream type of scent. That will give it to you. So yeah, that brings me to the end of today's video. Those are the fragrances in my collection that have pistachio in them, as well as my thoughts on the Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato 33. I cannot wait to see your comments, see what you guys are thinking about it. Comment down below if you already tried the Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato 33 and what your thoughts are on it. I would love to know who's picking up the soap, who's not picking up the soap, who's picking up gourmand, who's picking up floral. I love to hear that from you guys. We need to remember that we all have different noses. The way that I'm describing something to you could be totally different from what you smell, but just never make anyone feel like what they're smelling is wrong, because we don't know. We don't have their nose. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video.